This free app has completely overhauled my food waste and impulse shopping habits, and I will proceed to show you how. Bam, intro. Firstly, I want to say this video is not sponsored. That'd be pretty dope though. And secondly, I want to say hello, I'm Allison. I am from Earth, and on this channel, we just live for a good list, you know, a good database, especially if they help us be slightly better Earth people. I rely on systems that once in place become second nature, because I don't know about you, but there's just so much fluff swirling up there. OC trivia, Jurassic Park theme song, that I just find it so helpful to have this customizable resource to train me to stay on top of my modest sustainability goals. So if you're like me and struggle with memory or mental organization or impulsivity or overwhelm when it comes to your eco intentions, I think this could help you too. And this time I'm showing up with templates. Ow. So let's walk through them together, and make sure to stay to the end because there may or may not be a surprise waiting for you there. There it is. Okay, so in this tour, which will be at least a two-parter by the way, we're just going to focus on my eco-theme templates. And I wanted to start with the Slow Closet page. This is like an interactive style finder and wardrobe tracker all rolled into one. I have been improving this page over years, and thanks to all your requests, it's now a template. I designed Slow Closet to help me understand and define my style so that I didn't waste money or resources buying things that don't fit my life or have a short shelf life in the trend department, etc. Defining your style is such an important part of building a slow closet and reducing consumption, because you're basically training yourself to narrow down your options at the store or the thrift store to only things that you truly love. And this is what I love about the Slow Closet page. Part of it is set up like a worksheet with prompts. Intentions is a spot to list out objectives for your wardrobe. For instance, I don't want to bring home pieces that don't serve my lifestyle. Then you have this section, the Style Finder. Such a great place to start if you're just trapped in this cycle of adding stuff to your closet that you're never reaching for. This will help you start to pinpoint what it is you love. Essence, this is sort of like the vibe, the feeling of your style. This is a space to dig into what you want your clothing to communicate about yourself. A few keywords for me here that I took from my own personal style finder are comfortable, natural materials, minimal silhouettes, warm earth tones. Here's some outfit inspo I made in Canva out of my own pieces. Like, no one's telling you that you have to make little outfit collages in order to be a sustainable baddie, but it certainly doesn't hurt, okay? If I feel like I'm stumped on what to wear, these are little formulas I can fall back on for each season instead of rushing to Poshmark. Obviously, you'll want to personalize this to your own taste, but I think it's helpful to have examples in templates. Agree? Disagree? A color palette gallery. Mine kind of changes from season to season. So I have some different views set up for a summer, winter, spring, and fall color palette. And in the template, I include a guide to choosing your own color palette, plus a tutorial on how to customize this gallery. Actually, there's instructions and handy tips for each template I'm showing you. I'm not sure if I mentioned that. Next is a thrift list, of course. These are specific pieces to keep an eye out for when you're thrifting IRL or online. Just gaps in your wardrobe that you've already identified and have a plan for how to put to use. Toggle this for a little customizable mood board moment. So I keep the color palette in mind as well as texture and overall vibe. A little call out to list outfit combos you've really been enjoying. I try to make sure to document favorite OOTDs so I can repeat them ad nauseum in the future. Because at the end of the day, when you understand your style, your taste, you just buy less. Talk about a life hack. It's not really a life hack at all. It's actually just conventional wisdom that sort of died out with the rise of fast fashion. Purchases that are likely to come with buyer's remorse are much more easily filtered out when you have a solid understanding of what you really like. Then there's a place to list out any items in your closet that need mending so you don't forget. and a section for which pieces you plan on mindfully rehoming. So yeah, this whole top section has really helped me to understand my taste, the simple aesthetic I appreciate, and helps me decide if a piece I like will fit in with the rest of my wardrobe. And I hoped it could help more people than just me. Okay, the wardrobe tracker. So the slow closet template comes seated with a few pieces as an example of how it works. But I'm going to show you my personal wardrobe tracker because it's more filled out. I just started this closet tracker in January because one of my eco resolutions this year was to get more use out of my closet. I talk more about the why in this video up here. Now, there are closet apps that will do all this for you, but I personally prefer Notion for the creative control and the customization that you're able to do in it. And I like to have everything in one place rather than juggling like a million different separate apps, keeping track of all those for everything I need. It's filtered by season, so if I click on this tab here, it will show only weather relevant options since it's winter, much to my chagrin. But it's grouped by category. So since we are in winter, I have it sorted so that sweaters are top of the list. But if I click on summer, tank tops show up first because that's mainly what I wear in the summer. Let's click on one of these guys to see what's inside. Foot's falling asleep. Here you select the type of item, tops, bottoms, blah, 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 a photo of it. I took pictures of everything and removed the background in Canva. It took a long time, but I don't have kids, so time well spent. Which seasons it can work for, fit factor and comfort factor on a scale of 1 to 5. Like if I find myself not reaching for a piece because it doesn't fit just right or feel how I want it to, that's maybe a good sign to get it altered if that's what would fix the problem, or to mindfully rehome it to someone who could get more use out of it than me. A little section for notes, like if I lent it to my sister or need to have it mended or something like that. The price I paid, this was one of the few items I bought new, thank you very much. How many times it gets worn, a magic formula for calculating the cost per wear. The cost per wear functions help me connect the dots between how when I really love something and it's made with pretty good quality, it can actually cost me less in the long run than something I don't particularly care for or something that falls apart quickly. So I chose to start the tracker back at 0 for the new year. And it says I've only worn it 15 times, but I've actually worn this sweater over 100 times. And it's proven to me that a 100% cotton sweater that I wear a few times a week for several years is actually cheaper in the long run for me than a polyester acrylic spandex sweater I only wear a handful of times before it loses its shape or starts peeling out of control. So yeah, cost per wear is a super illuminating metric, and it's cool that Notion can do that for you. And down here I can type where it's from if I feel like it, or come up with outfit ideas, a virtual scratch pad if you will. And fear not, the closet tracker does come with thorough instructions on how to use and customize it. Okay, back to the slow closet template now, because my personal page doesn't have this cool feature yet. An outfit planner. So if you want to plan out your susty fits in advance, all you do is click into a piece in your virtual closet, scroll down to the OOTD planner property, and select the day of the week you want to wear it. Let's say we want that on Saturday. Back in the OOTD planner, the sweater is there now. This page and everything in it has really helped me to find my own style, wear what I already have, be super intentional about filling gaps in my wardrobe, and make sure I'm not over consuming fashion. Because fashion accounts for like 8 to 10% of global greenhouse gas emissions and poses several other ecological threats like runoff and microplastic pollution from washing and disposal. Not to mention all the human rights abuses that are just rampant in the garment industry. Yeah, we are against that stuff. So find the slow closet template in the description below, and let's move on to the next page. Here's the menu planner. This is where the magic happens, aka fighting food waste. I think it's important to at least have a rough idea of what we're going to do with the food we buy, because like it or not, consumers contribute more to food waste than grocery stores and restaurants combined, and double that what manufacturers and farmers contribute. So this is one way individuals can really take action to make a reduction in greenhouse gas emissions while simultaneously saving money. Classic feeding two birds with one scone scenario. At the top, I added some example bookmarks, quick links to sites that help you plan your weekly menu. Like you can add links to nearby grocery stores and check their weekly flyers to find out what's on sale and or in season, so you can plan your menu around it. That's what I do. Here's a link to my Pinterest recipe board for inspo. There's like thousands of plant-based recipes in here, all sorted by category naturally. A link to my Notion grocery list app. I'll show you that in a few minutes. And a zero food waste recipe generator. This is really cool. You enter what ingredients you already have at home and it spits out recipes using those ingredients. Like how cool is that? Then there's a checklist over here for what you want to meal prep that week. Along with menu planning, meal prepping has been key for me reducing food waste. And the way I do it is I prep individual components to mix and match in different ways throughout the week so we don't get bored instead of just making like huge batches of the same dish. So that's kind of how I set up this template. Meal prep formula. This is what works for me to ensure dietary variety without thinking about it too hard. So I thought it might be useful to you, hopefully. I'll do 1 or 2 veggies like roasted cauliflower, a grain like basmati rice. I'll do a ferment or a quick pickle, aka quickle. If you're not calling them quickles, then why not? Please answer in the comments, and while you're there, you might as well subscribe. 2 proteins, for example, I like to make creamy French lentils or tofu steaks. Hold on, I got it. I'm 35, this isn't. Okay, now we're getting to the ingredient inventory. Instead of only buying specific ingredients for specific recipes, which can lead to food waste, this section helps you plan the menu around what you already have in the fridge and pantry. Okay, now we're getting into the weekly menu plan, the pièce de résistance, a database to plan out everything you're eating for the week. We pretty much only plan our dinners, but I've added tabs here to plan lunches and breakfasts too. Why not go wild and set up a snack tab if the spirit moves you? Here you put the name of the dish, drop down selection for the day. Nothing I plan is entirely set in stone, so I rearrange the days as needed. Here you'd list any ingredients you already have for the recipe. Then here you'd put, you guessed it, which ingredients you need. A recipe inspo, so I'd link to something I found on Pinterest that I want to adapt using my own ingredients, and any components of the recipe that would be helpful to have meal prepped, like overlapping ingredients. Oh, and if you click on this here, it becomes a mini page. So you could put any notes in here or turn it into a full-blown recipe card. If you tell Notion that this is a favorite dish, you click this here and it automatically filters into this gallery down here. So you can pretty much make your very own recipe gallery. It's awesome. Now here's a really cool feature. Every single week of your menu plan is automatically saved in a master menu plan database. So if you've got a hectic week ahead of you, no need to reinvent the wheel. You can just refer back to past menu plans you've already created and reuse those. This really keeps the main page tidy and streamlined. It's not all cluttered up with like months and months worth of data. But just know that the data is always there, living in this little sub page whenever you need it. And when you're ready to start a fresh week of menu planning, no need to delete anything from your weekly planner. All you have to do is adjust the filter to show next week, and bam! Everything is saved from last week, but now you have a blank slate to work with. Okay, let's go back to this week's menu. This view here sorts everything you're eating into days of the week. And yes, I took the liberty of scheduling you a clear out the fridge day. A clear out the fridge day, for me at least, is at least 1 day a week when I don't plan any dinners. So you can catch up on leftovers or use the Zero Food Waste app before stocking up again at the grocery store, or, you know, get takeout, because it's a harsh world out there. Which brings us to the humble grocery list. My grocery list is probably the most efficient and uncomplicated page in my entire Notion workspace, and this is one of the freebies I'll be giving away during the series. If you already have a grocery list system, whether it's a fancy notebook or a dedicated app or a series of scribbles on the back of an old receipt, I don't care. I'm just happy you have one because they are so necessary in preventing food waste. I used to have a special grocery list app, but like I mentioned earlier, I'd rather have one super functional app that can handle all sorts of different tasks that I need to do. Plus Notion is more customizable, so you can make it as efficient or as vibey as you wish. Really, the only thing I liked about my old grocery list app was that I could sync it with other members of my household. But guys, guess what? You can do that with a Notion grocery list too. Since it's synced with Reed's phone too, we can both make changes and cross things off as we get them. It's definitely prevented accidentally buying multiples because we got our wires crossed or something. And look, I can still use my Notion grocery list as a sort of standalone app on my phone. See, I have this little widget right here that opens directly to my Notion grocery list app. Makes shopping so much easier. But anyway, I've included a tutorial in this template for how to turn a Notion page into a widget on your phone. All right, back to the grocery list. We're very lucky to have several grocery stores pretty close by. So some weeks we'll go to one because they're having a great produce sale, but other weeks we'll do our shopping at this other place because they have a specific thing that other stores don't have, you get it. And if you do all your shopping at just one grocery store, cool, you can remove these other ones. Or you could make them like a Home Depot list or a thrift list and just change the categories to like landscaping or lumber and so on. It's just a toggle list to see categories. You could even set the order of the categories up to correspond to the layout of your grocery store. And from there, it's a simple checkbox to tap. It's not fussy or overly complicated because I don't find that it has to be. But I did want to save this template for last as a treat for making it this far in the video. The grocery list and smartphone widget tutorial is completely free, so why not try it out and let me know what you think. So if you want to continue to geek out with me in a part 2 where I'll be sharing even more systems for setting and tracking my eco intentions and reducing consumption, like my sleep on it wish list, make sure you're subscribed and have the bell notification turned on. And once part 2 is live, I'll put it right here. There we go. All right, that's it. I would stick around, I really would, but unfortunately I have to go watch Jurassic Park for the 22nd time and then get started on part 2. So I'll see you back here soon.